Okay guys, it's the next day and we finished with the Damascus bars last time you saw us. Let me just show you those. So we made two massive bars of Damascus. They're quite heavy, but as you can see they've got all of the corrosion on them, all of the scale. So I need to take that scale off on the old grinder, see what we've got. Hopefully we've got some W's, and then we're going to cut them, stack them and then squidge them together. But I'll get them cleaned up first, then I'll show you what they look like. Let's go onto the grinder. Okay, I've cleaned up and chopped up my my Damascus, and what I now got to do is pop it into the acid and check which way the W's or S's are running, and then I'm going to stack them, weld them in this fashion, and squish them down again. So let me get them into the acid, see which way they're gonna be stacked. Let's just move across to the acid. Okay, let's pop each one of these into the acid and see which way it's going to go. Okay, let's have a quick look. Oh wow, look at that. Can you see that, guys? So you can see the W's, and they're going to stack them in a certain way so they extend. I'm going to forge them in the way that they're sitting now. So let's stack them, weld them, and get ready to forge. So let's weld these ones together. Job is a good one, as they say. Now we'll just grind these off just to tidy them up. Okay, that's all the prep done. So I've welded them together. I've welded a bar on here. I'm now going to put them into the forge, and let's forge it. It's flat, and let's see what it looks like. So let's put the forge on, and let's put the Percy on. Let's go. Usual thing, we're going to get the Damascus into the forge, and then we're going to use a bit of borax, make sure those welds are nice and tight. Okay, that's the second bit of Damascus forged together. So we took those four pieces, we welded them together, then we forged welded them together into a nice square. I don't know if it's me, but I seem to be getting a bit better at forging. That went together so much easier. Now, it's in the kiln, just annealing, so therefore it will make it nice and soft. I don't know if you can see that, it's just in there so hot. So that's annealing in the forge at the moment. What we'll do tomorrow is then we'll cut it, stack it again, and then the idea is that we twist it on its corners and then attack it from the two sides, and that should start making a semi-star shape. And then once we've got that, we can stack it again and actually put the four pieces together to make the star. Okay, that's it for today. I will see you tomorrow. Oh, how the weather changes. It's now cold, wet and horrible outside here in the UK. Anyway, our Damascus, we've just taken out of the forge. The next day it's cold. As you can see, it's a solid bar. So I'm going to repeat the process. I'm going to grind it all back. And I'm going to chop the end off, and I'm going to put it in the ferric chloride and see what the pattern looks like. Then chop it, stack it, weld it, forge it. This time though, when I forge it, I'm going to forge it square, then turn it on 45 degrees angle, and then forge it on the corners, and then hopefully that should give us the edge of our star. Then, if that goes well, we'll cut it again into four pieces, join it together in four pieces to make the star, forge it together, and then we're finished. That's the plan anyway. I've done this before and it failed. So keep your fingers crossed. Let's get grinding and let's get sorting it out. With the magic of editing, we have a clean bar. I just need to tidy this up on the belt grinder, but I've cleaned the end so you can see what the pattern looks like. So I've got my little tub of ferric chloride in the background. I'll pop it in and let's see what it looks like. Okay, let's take it out of the acid. Let's pop it in the neutralizing agent. Let's have a quick look. Yes, so we've got the V's. Hopefully you can see that. I'm just trying to zoom the camera in a little bit. There we go. You can see the V's going up and down vertically like this. That joint is probably because I cut it so close to the end. There might be a crack down there. I need to try and see if that's still there. Oops, it just moved. So what I'm going to do, I'm now going to chop it again, probably into 3 parts. Restack it yet again, so I want more V's. I want V's this side and V's this side. And then I'm going to come in on the sides and re-square it. And hopefully it'll give us the ups and downs. But there's definitely V's. Look at those. Can you see those? Really good. Okay, so let's chop it, stack it, weld it, and let's get on with the next stage. Okay, here we are. We've ground them, we've welded them. I've ground down the welds just to make it a little bit tidy so you can have so many weld marks inside of the billet. Next phase is to go and heat this big boy up, and then we'll see how we go from there. I want to draw a quick picture and just show you what we're trying to achieve though. So I'll just get a pencil and I'll take you across to the anvil and I'll show you what we're trying to achieve. So, bearing in mind, just to zoom out there, we have a billet that's like this, okay? We've now stuck 2 either side, so it's all pointy, okay? What we're going to do, we're going to forge weld this together to start with, and then we're going to forge weld it on the corners and make a square, and then the square should end up like this, okay? And then if we can do that, and the billet goes sort of like this, if we can do that, we can then cut it into 4 pieces and then stack it in this fashion and make a star. Well, that's the idea. But like I say, I've not been successful in this before, but that's the idea what we're trying to achieve. Okay, so let's get forging this out into the corners of 45 degrees, and let's try and make this bar here. If we can make that bar, then we're going to chop it in 4 spots and then join it together. But let's get this bit done. Okay, onto the forge, because it's cold. Hi guys, it's the next day. I had a bit of a problem with my my Damascus in the forge. After I was using the power hammer to square it out, I had a delamination, and I don't know if you can see, but I took an end bit off and end bit, so I've only left with a small piece now. Anyway, I'm going to cut it down the edge just to see what the pattern looks like, then I can make a decision. I may still stack this, but if I do, I'm not going to have much. So Mini Doobs is in the middle of sorting his out. So this is his bar that he made the other week. He then needs to grind all of this scale off and see what his pattern looks like. And then he's got to repeat the process that I did, so maybe he'll be more successful than me. So anyway, let's get cutting, let's see what it looks like. So as you can see, so I've got my lines on it. You can just see that in the light. The problem is though, there you go, you can see it there. The problem is though, is that I haven't got very much of a large bar. So I was very annoyed, So Mini Doobs and I got back in the shed today, which is another day, and we decided to have another go. So Mini Doobs have made his, and I'll show you that. You can see that he's got 4 pieces there, you can see the 4 lines, and he's working on that, so he's going to cut this next time and stack it beside each other to make a really long width billet. For myself, I started again. Today I've done the initial forge weld. I fit it on the corners and made the W's. I then stacked that again, and then I've put it back on a power hammer, joined them together, and then hit on the 45. And that's now currently annealing in the forge. Can you see that? Hopefully, it's a bit bright. Hopefully you can see that. This is incredibly hot, but I'll try and bring it out so you can see. I've managed to, you can just see on the end some of the lines, but I managed to square it on a 45, and yeah, I've made a bar, so that's absolutely brilliant. Now, I don't know what it's going to look like. I know I had some brilliant W's in there, but when it's cooled down and annealed, I will chop the end and put it in some ferric chloride, and we'll see what it looks like. But anyway, for this week, until next week when we stack it and make the actual star, fingers crossed it looks okay, that's it guys. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week on Doobrey's Day. Cheers, bye!